I tend to have sort of a relatively practical perspective on some of these things, right? Like the interface that we're looking at right now on John's screen is essentially a design construct that people have converged on called an infinite canvas, right? You can kind of expand in any direction, add things to it. But when you add sort of the dynamism of AI to these things, what happens to something like this infinite canvas is it becomes sort of less rigid, right? Like the content of these things can change based on the information itself within the interface being dynamically processed. If this was fully alive with, with AI, which it is not, right? Like the information might be being sort of dynamically augmented, right? Like you'd be able to click on these things and there would be new things coming into it. And this is where sort of like the notion of what is regurgitated by sort of like a language model becomes important. And hallucinations happen sort of like in a couple of different ways that are relevant to situations like this. One, it can hallucinate sort of like a fact that is incorrect, right? Like, and that bad. But a more important way, where sort of the non-determinism creates issues for sort of the interaction with language models and these interfaces, is when it's actually doing retrieval over something that you have and not respecting what it retrieves and surfacing incorrect information based on something that it has. And based on the increases in model power the past months, years, that goes down, down, down. But at the same time, there are, like there's a lot of info that goes in between this interface layer and the raw weight output that can cut down on that level of hallucination. Hallucination in many situations can kill UX and it can kill user experience, right? Like we have a company where people will use the system to prioritize their engineering product, and if it invents the incorrect engineering product, the whole product is useless, right? So that level of hallucination is actually a very serious product issue for a lot of these companies.